Something massive is about to drop. Prepare your money. Is your money safe? Let's go ahead and get right into it, everybody. Hey, back with another dose of economic reality. Bull, boom, bear, bust. Economic Edge report coming up right now. Let's talk about this here first. Big risks out there, folks. ABC is reporting this. Biden is now authorizing strikes within Russia. The move marks a major reversal for the Biden administration. That's what the headline is putting out there. And this was widely reported. So this is a little bit different. We know that we've been funding weapons and supplying weapons over for the war, multiple wars now in this case. But as far as Russia goes, we're authorizing strikes in Russia. It used to be these weapons were just supposed to be used as self-defense, as a way to push off the ground invasion, people coming into the country. But now it's authorized to use U.S. weapons to strike inside of Russia. Do you think this could have some blowback? Are we even going to have an election this year? Right? Things are really going ahead very rapidly. All right. So there's a financial aspect to this. I always said here, the markets will likely keep going up. Cost of living going to keep going up. They're going to keep this thing propped up unless something massive happens. Just think 2001, 2008, 2020, right? All these things that pop up every 10, 12 years or so. 2020 was kind of a brief downturn because they came in with so much money so quickly, pushing the stock market back up in a matter of weeks. Unlimited money printing, unprecedented, flooding the economy with money, right? So it could be a very brief downturn in the markets, unless it's, again, massive. Like we're talking World War III possibilities right here with what we're seeing in these wars. And I said here, wars are likely going to escalate. People said I was crazy. Oh, you're fear mongering, you're doom and gloom. And this was before what started over in Europe and what started over in Israel. All right, so things are going to continue to get worse, folks. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's no sign of this stopping, and there's no signs of anything reversing. And all of a sudden, all this stuff just goes away. It's going to likely get a lot worse before it gets better, right? So brace your money. Well, let's get into a lot of other economic news here, financial news here. This is how the Daily Mail put this out. A perfect storm is wiping out America's restaurants. Here's why the Midwest is hardest hit by foreclosures, folks. We're seeing a retail and a restaurant apocalypse. We talked a little bit about that a couple reports ago with the number of store closures this year on pace to surpass the number last year in 2023. And last year was a record. So this year looks to be another record. But yet they're telling us everything's fine. The consumer's strong. Now, when there's a pullback in spending at a lot of the brick and mortar stores, the excuse put out there is that everybody's shopping online, even though we know that's nonsense because people have been shopping online for 20 plus years, right? It's nothing new. So why would all of a sudden be new this year? So we know that's nonsense. So how can they justify the restaurant closures, right? It's weakness in the consumer. Consumers don't have enough money to buy even McDonald's now. And there's a study that came out. A lot of people consider eating fast food now a luxury, a luxury. But as far as trying to justify this or to say this is no big deal, you can't say people are buying food online and buying fast food online. Sure, some people are. Some people are getting food shipped to them and frozen menu, frozen meals, stuff like that. What do you have? Omaha steaks, stuff like that. But no, we're talking about ready-made hot meals. People aren't buying them online. This is a drastic pinch in the consumer's ability to go out and dine. So we're going to continue to see a lot more restaurants fold this year. All right. Speaking of weak consumers, you see more theft, more people taking stuff without paying for stuff as the economy continues to worsen, as the consumers get buried under more debt. Dollar General now is going to eliminate the vast majority of self-checkouts and reduce new store openings, right? So if the consumer is strong, if everything's fine, if nothing to worry about, if we're just doom and gloom, why are we continuing to see headlines like this, right? Things are getting worse, folks. And you've got to start bracing for this if you're not already. Companies may stop using oranges to make orange juice as costs skyrocket. Folks, people can't even afford to grow oranges anymore. Well, it's not just that, it's not the oranges or the cost to grow oranges. Anybody can buy a $30 tree and wait a few years and it's going to grow oranges if you're in the right climate, California, Florida. But it's the land. It's the land. And farms are having a very difficult time. But I can drive around here in my neck of the woods here and all through Southern California and you see yards with orange trees. And sometimes there's so many oranges, the oranges are just falling on the ground and going rotten. Right. So if they're talking about stopping making orange juice because of lack of oranges, somebody needs to come drive around my neighborhood and pick up all these oranges. Uh, not that they're any good anymore, but I don't think there's any sort of shortage. I don't think it's what they're saying. I think they're using that to justify rising prices, and they could be using that to justify using some fake formula or some fake flavorings instead of actually using real oranges, right? Just my opinion on that. But what do you think about that? And Newsweek put that out here. Companies may stop using oranges to make orange juice as costs skyrocket. So everybody plant a tree, some sort of fruit tree if you can, if you own your property, if you own your land, plant a couple fruit trees, because this food situation is looking very, very dire. And I just read a report about another massive fire taking out about a million something chickens, some Midwest state. You guys can look that up, but it's getting pretty scary with the cost of food and what's happening right now. Something else I want to get into, some weird, strange headlines. Here, this is out of Market Watch. Listen to this. Investments, VHS tapes, whiskey, and comic books are emerging as an investment strategy. So are people this desperate to hoard items because of inflation? Right? So when inflation is going up, when the cost of living is going up, when the cost of everything is going up, the worst thing you can do is just be in all cash. You want to have something that's going to go up in value. My favorite is still silver. Of course, real estate goes up in value. With real estate, you have a lot of holding costs, carrying costs. That's why I'm choosing right now not to invest in any more real estate. The taxes alone will get you each year if you buy it at the wrong time. But VHS tapes, I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, what's next? Used socks? I mean, VHS tapes, whiskey, and comic books emerging as an investment strategy. It's not a joke. That's a real Market Watch article. What do you guys think about that? So we're seeing a lot of things happening right now to prevent a complete consumer-driven economic implosion. One of those things is assistance programs. Now, the VA again extended the foreclosure moratorium now through the end of 2024. So again, if everything was fine, why do we still have foreclosure moratoriums 4+ years past the health crisis? Why? The consumer is supposed to be strong, right? VA extends foreclosure moratorium. Current moratorium announced in November was set to end on Friday. So basically, it started last November, and it's going to go through the end of the year. And guess what? They're going to have to extend it again because you think people are just going to magically have more money at the end of this year as things continue to get more expensive as inflation continues to rise? No, it's just going to get worse. They're going to have permanent these programs that are put in place. A lot of them are going to end up being permanent, right? Once you once you begin giving out stuff for free, moratoriums, it's very difficult to get off of them. Look what's happening right now with the late rents. Late rents are skyrocketing, and somehow people thought that an eviction moratorium was going to fix everything. Okay, there's going to be a temporary moratorium. After the moratoriums are done, everyone's going to get a great job, and everybody's going to make enough to pay their rent. It's not happening, folks. The evictions are increasing more and more and more. Our rents are weakening, and in some cities, there's still moratoriums in place, right? So again, these programs put in place, a lot of times they're not able to take them away. So another force keeping stocks high and even going higher in some cases, buybacks, folks. Another record in stock buybacks. Buybacks are back. Corporate America is on a spending spree. Sharp increases in the first quarter, up sharply, led by Meta and Apple. In fact, we reached another record of stock buybacks, $201 billion just in the month of May. Another record. And guess what? We told you right here this was going to happen. We said they're going to find new ways to keep this market propped up. And here we go. Record amount of buybacks, right? So again, it's going to take something massive, World War III type of thing, complete blackout, Who knows, what else major can come out of this. It's going to take something massive to stop this economic, I wouldn't want to call it an economic growth situation because it's not really growth. If you want to call it growth, you can, but keep in mind it's debt driven growth. Look at the gross domestic product. The more debt people carry out, that goes and adds to the gross domestic product. The more money that we borrow and send overseas or send to fund wars, that's put in the economic growth category, right? It's ridiculous, but the more debt people take out, the more money the government spends, which they don't have. They have to borrow it. That's looked at as economic growth, right? So the whole economic growth model or the whole economic growth reporting method is absolutely ridiculous, right? But people out there look at that, and even mainstream news sources, they're saying, oh, look at the economy strong. Look at this economic growth. Isn't it great? But you're not buying it. I'm not buying it, folks. We're right on top of this. We know to continue to prepare because it's not looking like things are going to get better anytime soon. There's another couple brief stories I wanted to go over real quick here for you. Oh, and actually, it wasn't a story. This is someone that put a social media post out there talking about they're having a really tough time. So we're going to listen to this and possibly even dissect this a little bit here and maybe even give somebody some advice here. Let's go ahead and bring this up here and play this. Take a listen here.
I don't know what to do anymore. And at the risk of looking like some whiny, pathetic person, this is just unsustainable. I'm a dance teacher. I work from September until June, generally the school year.
Okay, so first of all, a dance teacher, really, with all the financial struggles right now amongst the population, do people have money that they want to spend on paying for a dance teacher? Right. So one, rethink, and I'm not making fun of this person. I'm just trying to offer some advice here. Look at your career choices, and let's finish what he has to say here.
And even with a career, I don't have enough money to pay my rent. I don't have enough money to buy groceries every week. And now that it's summertime, I'm looking for a part-time job and I can't find one. I have put in over 30 applications.
That's a lot. Looking for a part-time job. Remember, restaurants, a lot of them aren't hiring right now. And here in California with this huge minimum wage requirement now, a lot of restaurants are letting people go and eliminating staff. And they're looking for ways to bypass staff and smart menus and stuff like that, automated menus.
With a brand new resume that I have updated, fluffed up. I don't know what to do anymore. That I have updated.
Right. Anyways, she goes on. So that's how a lot of people are feeling right now. They're feeling really, really miserable about everything, the cost of living, the cost of owning a home now. The American dream of owning a home is a pipe dream, not just in America, but across most of the world. And a lot of it is just inflation. Yes. Yes. But we also have a lot of people that didn't really take seriously enough their career choices. Again, a dance teacher, right? Nothing wrong with that. There's people out there that want to learn how to dance. They can go do dance videos in social media. Some of them make money doing that. Entertainment, of course. But as the consumer continues to get buried under this debt and no way out, no escape, what are they going to be more likely to spend money on, right? So there's certain industries that are going to stay strong and profitable. Look at all the jobs in home repairs right now. People need repair people. People need roofers, construction workers, right? There's a shortage right now. Sometimes people are calling for new roofs and they're having to wait weeks, sometimes months to even get a quote from a roofer in some parts of the country, right? So just something to think about, folks. Just didn't want you to think that everything is about inflation. It's also about people and their decisions and their lack of planning and their lack of looking at reality, right? But you're on top of it. Financial, economic reality right here every day, folks. Please make sure you are subscribed and come back for more news and updates. Appreciate every one of you being here. Keep stacking. Bye for now. Peace.